Warriors.
Curry gets free. Curry puts up a three. Ah! Reeves on the drive. He banks it in. And the Lakers win a thriller.
Lakers are going to go 7 games over 500 for the first time this season.
Oh, a silencer. LeBron James.
We know what Bron and Steph does, but you add 2 more power players, get the popcorn popping, it's going to be good.
The first 3 chapters of the Warriors-Lakers showdown this season, they have been epic. But tonight, you're adding 2 powerhouses to the mix. This is going to be dynamite. Let's start with Golden State. The Warriors, they've turned back into a juggernaut with Jimmy Butler sharing the floor with Steph. They've won 90% of their games with both stars in the lineup, 20 games into this partnership. Now, the Lakers, they haven't been quite at that clip, but their 11-6 record with Luka and LeBron in the lineup, it's even more impressive when you consider it includes wins over the Knicks, the Rockets, the Nuggets, as well as the Clippers twice. So back to the Warriors here. With Jimmy and Draymond leading the defense, Golden State, they've had the league's best defense since Butler debuted. That's up from 10th before Butler arrived and 15th last season. And after a slow start to his Lakers career here, Luka has returned to his prolific self in March. He's one of 2 players to average at least 30 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists in this time, along with the 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic. We have a legendary game tonight, so that means we have a legendary panel. Our senior writer, Brian Windhorst, all-legend team captain Michael Wilbon, the Hall of Famer, joining us here, and our NBA champ Kendrick Perkins as well. Let's talk about this because Jimmy and Luka, they've changed the dynamic of this matchup a little bit here. But I'm curious, Brian, who's gotten the bigger boost from their new co-star? Is it Steph with Jimmy or is it LeBron with Luka?
Well, Malika, look at that record you just showed.
Yeah.
I mean, 18-2. How can you argue with that? And they're 12-0 with the current starting lineup that they're using with Moses Moody and Brandon Pajemski around their big 3. And how can you ignore that? And I do not want to offend the Rockets fans out there because they have worked very hard. But honestly, the Warriors, to me, are the secret number 2 seed in the Western Conference. There's not that much difference between teams that are 2 through 7 or 8. I think they all believe they can beat each other. The way the Warriors are playing with this group, with that defense that can play fast and aggressive with Jimmy Butler, I think this is the second best team in the West right now with a huge test tonight to try to climb up and chase the Lakers in front of them.
You know, I like to start arguments. What a surprise. But I'm not going to argue with my dear friend Brian. I'm just not. I think, look, we're into hair splitting right now when you ask that question, Malika, which is why it's such a fascinating discussion. We're talking tiebreakers. And I think the Lakers had an outside chance already.
Okay.
Outside chance, if very healthy. They get Luka. It's clearly a change, not just a bump. But I'm going to go with Golden State as well. Jimmy adds more than one dynamic. We're talking about a 2-way player. We're going to see that. Perkins, we talked about that last night. Obviously, you remember about what it is Jimmy Butler can bring tonight at both ends of the floor. Luka give you that second dimension defensively. He's going to be just a massive upgrade, as great an upgrade as you can get offensively, and the Lakers are benefiting from that and figure 2 in the playoffs. But Jimmy Butler with Steph and Draymond, I mean, their own feeling about themselves. We heard that. You know that from talking to Draymond. We all heard Draymond talk about that on his podcast and other places. And Stephen, just their body language. And I'm not a big body language guy, but it seemed to change so obviously. So I, too, narrowly am going with Golden State on the bump.
I keep hearing footsteps, babe.
Oh, I didn't realize this was American Idol today.
I hear them footsteps coming, and I was wrong. I thought Golden State getting Jimmy Butler wasn't going to move the needle. Damn it, it did. And what made me open my eyes was that game against the Memphis Grizzlies. That was a signature win. Memphis went out there, Ja gave them everything that they possibly can, but it was how they got it done. Yes, Steph had 52, but the Jimmy with the 27 points, it opened up my eyes to see the real true value of Jimmy Butler. Yes, we know he's a defensive dog, and with him and Draymond anchoring that defense, communicating, doing all those special things that they do, that's one thing. The second thing is the things that Jimmy could do offensively. If you want him to run the offense, he does that. You want him to go to the low block and post up, he does that. Pin down, screen setting. And not only has that opened it up for Steph Curry, Moses Moody, his points has went up. Podziemski, his play has went up. He has gave this team life and a joy right now, and I'm with Wendy, I'm with Wilbon. This Warriors team today is the second best team in the Western Conference.
Even though the Lakers right now, they're sitting in third in the Western Conference. And no, it's the Golden State Warriors. Well, you're not the only one. It's not just us that are excited to see these new additions, how this is going to impact this rivalry here. Draymond Green, he's expecting an uptick in the competition as well.
Those are two power players. And then they also have a guy over there who's playing like a power player and is becoming a power player in Austin Reeves.
Are we good with saying that they have a big three at this point?
Austin Reeves is not the same Austin Reeves we saw 4 months ago. It's a different player. And I give him that credit.
So you can hear my full conversation with Draymond in about 20 minutes, but Wendy, stamp it. He says that the Lakers have a bona fide big three here. So looking ahead to the postseason, we could see this matchup in the first round. Right now, that's not the seeding. Which trio do you have more faith in heading into the playoffs?
Okay, so LeBron and Luka are probably first ballot Hall of Famers, okay? So I do not want to take a position here that is diminishing them. However, when you look at the way the Warriors' big three fits together, what Jimmy and Draymond and Steph do complements each other better, whereas what the Lakers do with these three guys who primarily play on the perimeter, they all three of them have to kind of lower their games and share a little bit. And I want to point out, this Lakers roster is still not perfected. They're still going to need to make some tweaks until those three can be fully empowered, probably next season, whereas I think you're seeing the Warriors fully empowered. I'm qualifying all of this to say I believe it's the Warriors, even though it's very hard to take a position against those two studs with the Lakers.
Can we focus in on Austin Reeves and how he affects this for a second, though? Because LeBron James, he made an interesting point on his Mind the Game podcast recently. He said that the addition of Luka has allowed Austin Reeves to have the third best guy defending him now. And that's opened up something new for Austin.
Well, that's what we often see with these acquisitions. What's the comfort level of a player already on your roster? And how much does it make that player more comfortable on the floor, better on the floor, better able to deal with opponents defending him? And that's where Austin Reeves was already just getting better. Draymond sounds such like a coach there, which of course he is too at this stage of the game. So Austin Reeves is a different player, as Draymond pointed out. But he fits so much better, Perkins, seems to me, in that third slot. He can do less, which makes him more effective. He
can, but right now, the way that LeBron has been looking since his injury, he's going to have to do more.
What do you mean by that?
But meaning I feel like he's going to have the ball more in his hands. I believe that LeBron James are going to do the extra things, the little things that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. He's going to lean. I think LeBron James is going to lean more on Luka and Austin Reeves. We saw it 2 years ago when they